And a very warm welcome to Coaching Solutions Netball video number 1. This video has a wide range of warm-up routines and practices which you can use at your training sessions and also for your pre-match warm-up drills.
We've shown each routine twice.
Once with some coaching points and then with no commentary. This will give you time to see how the routine works and enable you to make your own notes and comments. To make it easier to find the beginning of an exercise, its number and name is written in white on a black background. One, pass and run. Having passed the ball, the player runs forward and joins the back of the opposite line. On this occasion, you'll see the players are going around
Clockwise.
You or one of your players could call change, and they would then go round the other way. The players can also come closer together and tip the ball back to one another. Two, run, turn in the air. Turning in the air reduces the time it takes for the players to be ready to pass the ball. The players here have been asked to land on their right foot and turn to the left, but any combination of landing foot and turning direction can be used. Observe the players' excellent body balance and landing control. Their left foot doesn't touch the floor until they are ready to pass the ball, which indicates how well balanced they are. Three, rotating diamond. This routine will help the players with their body control and footwork skills. The aim is to get the player's feet and body facing the way they want to pass the ball. The first pass across the court is fairly easy. The second pass back to the top of the diamond is a little more difficult. The players are shown here going out to their right. You can change the routine around and have them running to their left. At the 3 landing points, you could also stipulate which foot they should land on. Four, zigzag. To start this routine, the balls are held by the second player in the line. The front players go out to their right and then cut back to receive the ball on the other side of one another. To make this routine work well, the player passing the ball to the moving player must start her out and in movement as soon as she has released the ball. Get your players to go out to their right and then to the left before cutting back in. Also emphasize the use of the outside foot to change direction. Five, the key. Try to get your players to time their moves so that they are not standing still when they receive the ball, and also ensure they are facing the way they want to pass the ball. The player at the bottom of the picture can also go out to her right as well as to her left. Six. 1, 2, 3, turn in air. Three things to look for here. 1. Make sure that when the players go sideways, they know who's going to be in front of whom. 2. When they turn in the air, they should be in the opposite line to the one they started in. And 3. Having turned in the air, they go to the correct end of the line to keep the practice going. If they don't, it'll come to an abrupt halt. Seven. Intercept diagonally. The aim of this routine is to ensure that the ball is always caught by the player running diagonally to make the interception. The thrower's pass must be delivered in a way that this is always achieved. The ball can be thrown at various heights and speeds, replicating the types of passes
Your players will be expected to catch during the game.
Eight. Diagonal pass and sideways run. Initially, we want the players to land on their outside foot and turn the long way round. For the player who is moving sideways, it's important she gets her timing right. If she moves too early, she'll be standing still when she receives the ball. When changing direction, ensure the players are pushing off again with their outside foot. 9. Pass right, move left. Although this routine sounds fairly easy, your players will have to concentrate to make sure they move the right way. Having passed the ball to their right and move to the left, they can change direction and pass left, move right. This is a very good exercise to develop your players' ability to pass off either side of their bodies and to encourage them to catch and release the ball quickly. (10) The cross. This is an excellent routine for getting your players to drive onto the ball. The two balls start opposite one another, and you have to decide which way, right or left, the moving player is going to receive the ball from. Here we show the ball coming from the player's right. Make sure the ball is passed in front of the player, and to start with, is at chest height. Once your players get into the routine, the size of the cross can be made smaller and the balls passed higher. (11) The arrow. Although this routine appears fairly complicated, once your players have walked it through a couple of times, they will quickly pick it up. This is a good exercise for fast feet, body control, timing and sympathetic passing. Once your players have got the hang of it, ask them to perform the routine again, but this time the ball starting from the other line. Also remember to change the three feeders on a regular basis. (12) Crisscross. You'll need a good feeder for this routine. Start off by having the balls held by two players diagonally opposite the two lines. The front player of one of the lines runs forward, catches the ball from the player opposite her, and then passes it to the feeder. The player then continues her diagonal run, receives the ball from the feeder, hopefully lands on her outside foot, turns a long way round and passes to the next player. In the meantime, the other player with the ball feeds the other line, and the sequence is repeated on both sides, one after the other. (13) Ball work. The ball is passed in the following sequence: right to right, right to left, left to left and left to right. The players should be fairly close together, about 2 meters apart. Encourage your players to keep their hands and arms up and to pass the ball to the other players left and right so they don't receive it in front of their faces. Make sure the players have the ball under control before passing it back. It must not be slapped back. Going around in a circle is an optional extra. Here we have the same routine but with the ball being passed lower down. (14) 2 balls, left to right, right to left. Here the balls are passed straight between the players, right hand to left hand and then left hand to right hand. (15)
2 balls passing.
This needs excellent timing and a fair amount of concentration. To help your players, tell them how many passes they have to make before changing the type of pass. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, change. (16) 2 balls, move sideways. The players need to start diagonally opposite one another, each with a ball. The players move sideways, they can use different foot patterns, side to side running, etc. And the balls are thrown straight across for the other player to receive it. Once your players are happy with this exercise, you can ask them to throw the ball higher and maybe a little wider. (17) The V. An excellent routine for getting your players' feet going. Keep the footwork patterns nice and small and the V fairly narrow. You don't want the player going out sideways. Here the player is catching and passing the ball back with 2 hands. Later on you will see her using just 1 hand to catch and return the ball. Here she is catching and passing the ball back using her right hand when the ball is thrown to her right side and her left hand on the left side. 18. Quick release in twos. A great little routine for getting your players in the zone. What you'll probably find when they start is that the ball being passed upwards is thrown too far forwards and they won't be able to catch it. Make sure the player feeding the ball in flat passes it as soon as the other ball is passed upwards. Otherwise the worker won't have enough time to get the flat ball back before the other ball comes down. (19) Quick release in threes. Similar to the last exercise, but this time the worker's field of vision has to be wider. The players should be about 3 meters apart, and again ensure the flat ball is released as soon as the worker throws her ball in the air. (20) The plus sign. The aim of this practice is to have the player land on the foot furthest away from the thrower and turn outwards. If the ball comes from her left, she lands on her right foot. The pass should be hard and fast, and this will encourage the player to catch the ball well in front of her body. Ideally, we would like to see the player maintaining her normal stride pattern throughout this exercise.
Try to avoid hopping
when catching the ball. Also encourage your players to keep their heads and bodies upright. This will help them to see things early. (21) Middle and corner. This routine follows on nicely from the plus sign. Watch very carefully which foot the player lands on and where. She lands on her right foot when the ball comes from her left, and on her left foot when it comes from her right. This is what the exercise is all about, making sure the player lands on the correct foot. Also look to see which way round the player turns. (22) The corner. As well as a warm-up drill, you can also include these next two exercises in your fitness work. Each player performs the routine in turn, working for say 20 seconds. With 3 players, they will always have a 1:2 work to rest ratio. Although this ratio will not change, you can always increase the number of repetitions and also the duration of the repetitions. You will have to decide how long the exercise should last. This will depend upon the age and fitness of your players. Make sure the players work along the two sides of the square and do not cut the corner. (23) L shape. The same duration and reps can be used for this exercise as for the previous corner routine. Try and see if the player can pass the ball back underarm and facing away from the feeder after having made her move out and back in. Also, the ball at the end of the line needs to be passed so that the player can return it in the air. Here the player is going out to her right instead of to her left. (24) Bow tie. You could use more than 4 players, but keeping it to 4 means the players are working in quick rotation. The aim of this routine is to have the players drive onto the ball when receiving it in the middle. The ball needs to be passed in front of the player so that she can land and be facing forwards. What she doesn't want to do is to have to wait for the ball or land and have to pivot back on herself. Start slowly and then increase the pace. A very good exercise for quick release and also body management.